Welcome back, guys. Last time I had what I would call my first serious passage since getting back on the horse. So there's Grenada. And look where we are. We made it. I am in Grenada. More precise, I'm in Prickly Bay, Grenada, and it's busy. I only had a few days in Prickly Bay before the next passage north, but it was enough time to reflect and reminisce about my last time here. Monastrell was on the hard, and Dave and I spent most days under her hull, hand-stained and sore, applying fresh copper coat. It was hot, sweaty work, but there was also something very satisfying about it. Look at this, new copper coat. Knowing she'd glide through the water cleaner and faster. Just curing. The old girl ready for more sea miles. Curing at the moment. In the late afternoon, I would often wander the yard, and that's when I ran into the guys off SV Dallas, which was very cool.
G'day, Steve. Happy birthday, mate.
We chatted before, but this time we really caught up, trading stories. I asked them if they'd film a quick birthday message for my friend Steve back in Carriacou. They didn't hesitate.
Well, anyways, happy birthday. We're hard at work on Delos. Brian can't say anything because he's...
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Steve. Happy birthday, man.
Shot it right there and then. A bunch of salty smiles yelling.
Happy birthday, Steve.
With all the joy in the world. How generous.
Awesome.
I surprised Steve on his birthday with a video in Carriacou, and being a huge Dallas fan, he said it made his day. Also, during my last time here, I got roped into a hash run. I'd never done one before in Grenada. Me and a few new friends were chasing flower trails through the jungle and side roads, slipping in mud and laughing hard. Just cleaned my shoes. We ended up sweaty, covered in scratches and stories, drinking cold stags with strangers who suddenly felt like old friends. Prickly Bay wasn't just a stop for maintenance. It was a place that slowed me down and filled me up. Whoa, Dave. Maybe the creek was an easier way to go. I have very fond memories. Too easy. I left with fresh paint, a full heart,
What? Look at
and a few more names in the logbook.
Look at this. Oh, wow. Yeah, with the sunshine. Yeah.
That's a video.
Oh, okay. Do we look...
Which I'll take a step.
Do we
You look great. You look beautiful.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Lots of colour.
This is the best way to look, eh? Who needs
Okay,
to dress
before I
up?
completely lose the scent of the people in front of me,
There's a rainbow.
Well, I'm blown away. After months and months, 2 passages to Tobago and return to Trinidad. After this passage to Grenada, they, beginning with 1 and then picking up a second pilot fish, are still with me. This is insane. I'm convinced that they think Monastrell is a living creature. Incredible. Bay, St. George's. We're just going from Prickly Bay. Prickly Bay to Carriacou was the original plan, but unfortunately the wind didn't behave, so I ended up overnighting at Rondeisland, which, as it happened, I'd always wanted to do. I'd never been to Rondeisland before. I've passed by it many, many times back in 2018, 2019. The only thing was I didn't check out at Prickly Bay because I was expecting to be in Carriacou today and was going to check out there for my trip further north. So that means I'll have an overnight in Ronde and then we'll have to go to Carriacou to check out when I could have bypassed it and then head on from there. Visibility and depth allowing, generally speaking, I like to dive on the anchor. And in this case I was able to, and if you look carefully It's not very clear, but you can see that the anchor is laying on its side, so it hadn't set at all. So I had to go down there and actually lift the anchor and point it in the right direction and in some soft sand so that it would set. It's quite corally down there. Again, it's not very clear, but if you don't blink, you can see the anchor setting here. It was interesting to watch, actually. It's the first time I've seen it. As soon as I picked it up, dropped it again, the boat started moving backwards along with the anchor and chain. So initially it was quite disconcerting, actually. But eventually, as you can see here, it's set. And if you watch carefully, you can see the last little bit, you know, about a half an anchor length or an anchor length, the last little bit setting. Really interesting. And after another 30 odd miles, look who's still with me. It's cool, they've become like pets. The footage of this passage and other passages going further forward are stuck on a hard drive that's damaged, and I still haven't been able to retrieve the data. So yeah, some of this footage is borrowed from previous trips, but essentially it was very similar conditions, so not too different at all. I managed to find some GoPro footage that I still had on a SD card, which was great, so I'm using that plus some previous footage. Alright, let's get back to the story. As you can see, pulled into Tyrrell Bay in Carriacou to check out with Customs and Immigration. There was a sign on the door, however, saying they were off for lunch. They were a fair bit late getting back, no surprises there, so I grabbed a bite myself. Eventually got it sorted, and we finally set off for the beautiful Tobago Cays.
A hurricane, like a thunderstorm, the pouring rain.
Wow, look at those colours. It's so nice to be back in this part of the world again. Unfortunately, it's just a quick stopover, but I'll definitely take my time when I'm heading south again.
Like a ton of lead. Oh yeah, it'll mess with your head. You won't know where to begin. You can't keep up, you fall behind. You lost your aim, can't clear your mind. Like a fire burning wild, a freight train you can't stop. Like a nightmare, but this time you don't wanna wake up. It pulls you in, it takes over, you just can't let go of the worst, best thing that's ever happened to you. No way, this is real, no it can't be true. Maybe for someone else, but not for you.
Indian Island in the background. Here's Tobago Cays.
That it'll stay.
A narrow passage here to negotiate. There's Canoan up ahead. We'll put the heady out soon.
Burning through your veins for one more day. You can't keep up, you fall behind.
That's Salt Whistle Bay, you can see there.
Can clear your mind. Like a fire burning wild, the freight train you can't stop. but this time you don't wanna wake up. Pulls you in, it takes over. You just can't let go of the worst, best thing, well, that's ever happened to you. You can't keep up, you fall behind. You lost your aim, can clear your mind. Like a fire burning wild, a freight train you can't stop.
Okay, this is
Like a
Bequia.
nightmare, but this time you don't.
Beautiful sail all the way, actually. It's been awesome. Handsteer, probably 80% of the time. Close to 30 miles.
You don't wanna wake up. It pulls you in, it takes over. You just can't let go of the worst, best thing that's ever happened to you.
This final stretch was so much fun. It was amazing. Monastrell performed beautifully. She was consistently hitting 7 to 8+ knots of speed, and she was doing it effortlessly. And wow, such a beautiful day. It's days like these where you forget all your troubles and you just can't imagine anything being as good as being on passage as on a 47-foot rocket ship. And all powered by just the wind and waves. Incredible. Woo-hoo! it's gone quiet. We are heading into the lee of St. Vincent. We've got 115 apparent wind. I've decided I'm going to head offshore a little bit. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more breeze out there, and then I'll come back up to Chateaubelair, which is around the corner there, and about halfway up the island. I think it's about 10 miles to go, something like that. But wow, look at St. Vinny, look at those hills. Bequia down there, they just got drenched with the rain. I had a little bit of a downpour, which was nice. It gave the decks a little bit of a wash. Here we go, not much now. Down to 3 knots. 6 knots of breeze. 5 knots apparent. Not good. We've had a good run though, so I'm not complaining. We have made very good time so far. So it's taken us about 5.5 hours to get to here. We were smoking. We were smoking. What a contrast, eh? What a contrast to earlier. So I've got some curry for lunch, which I cooked up last night. That's delicious. Homemade bread. Well, good morning. I'm just about to leave beautiful Chateaubelair. It's been a bit of a rolly anchorage, but not too bad. And we are heading out there to St. Lucia in a little while. And we can't see Soufrière, which is the volcano in the background there. It's cloud covered, but that's stunning, and it's a walk Keith and I did in 2018 or probably 19. Okay, leaving beautiful Chateaubelair. That was a nice night. We may have a little bit of a race happening here, but not really at the same time. He's got his dinghy out. He's definitely in cruiser mode. I'm in passage mode. Dinghy on the deck. Both sails out. It's a bit fickle in here to begin with, but it won't take long and we'll be in some breeze. Should be nice and calm. So the first little bit, I think I can hear it. He's got his engine running, I think I can hear his engine running. And there's the volcano. Thanks for watching, guys. Join me next time for the most boisterous passage so far, when we get whacked by 33 knots as we leave Chateaubelair. It was crazy.